before we get into Tatum, I want to highlight Jaylen Brown.
Mm-hmm.
Jaylen Brown has been, I don't want to say dragged through the mud because that's putting it a little bit more aggressively, but everyone was saying, oh, you can't win with the two of them together. And then he ends up being the best player, I say in the playoffs. I say he should have won the Larry Bird Eastern Conference Playoff MVP award over Tatum. I think he had a better playoffs.
I agree.
Tatum had a better individual games. Like he had like that 40-point game at the end of the series against the Bucks. But I think Brown's overall been the better player. And Brown, there's an argument made that Jaylen Brown is the better of the two players for the Celtics team.
I can agree with that. And I'd say he's not so much that Robin role to Jayson Tatum anymore, because Jayson Tatum went missing. You can't be Batman and not show up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You have to have a killer side to you that he doesn't have
it. He just didn't have it. He played bad. He set some records, not good ones. He set some records in these playoffs too. 100 turnovers in the postseason. 100. That is the most in NBA history. 100 turnovers.
Yeah.
Through the whole playoffs.
I saw that. Yeah.
100. That's bad. Shot 5 for 21 in the fourth quarter. In the finals.
In the finals.
Terrible. You made 5 shots in the fourth quarters
of every game.
Game. You combined for 5 buckets. Not threes, talking field goals. Just 5.
Buckets.
Just 5. 5 of them. That's all he gave us. It's unacceptable from a superstar. I don't even want to call him it anymore, honestly. He looked normal. I don't know if the moment was just too big for him. Something else was going on. Something else was in his head. Or if the Warriors just had his number. Or he had his own number. I don't know, but that it was one of the worst performances I've seen from a superstar, in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I can't let it slide.
He had a great season, but it is true that when the lights shine the brightest, that's when we find out who you are.
Yeah, that's when we'll find out.
And
I found out.
The world did. So so he was posting a lot of Kobe stuff. And now
God, you're just making it
worse. I wasn't upset with him about that. I was like, you know what? It's his first ever NBA Finals. He was a huge Kobe fan. Let him draw inspiration.
Put the elbow sleeve on.
Let him draw inspiration from where he needs. But now that does shine another light on him that he does need to find something, because he was scared.
He was scared.
He was scared.
Yeah, he played like it. And every fourth quarter, he just turned it off. Everything he had going up until that point, it just turned off right when the fourth quarter came.
Second half really, as a whole, fourth quarter, it got worse as the second half went on.
Second halves were bad, but the fourth, where you need to be closing out games, making pivotal plays, and not showing up as a superstar.
It's so curious because we were talking last week. He has all the skill sets to be one of the best players in this league.
He does.
We talked about how his comp can be Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
But Kevin Durant is a killer.
Yeah, Kevin Durant doesn't disappear in the fourth quarter. He doesn't do that.
He doesn't disappear ever. He doesn't disappear on Twitter. He doesn't disappear on the court. Kevin Durant's there.
He's gonna be there.
He's a presence. Jayson Tatum first quarter. Jayson Tatum was one of the best players in this series. First quarter, Jayson Tatum was probably the single best player in this series.
I say postseason. And against the Heat, he was showing up in the first. It was all Jayson Tatum in every first quarter against the Heat.
And then in the Heat series as well as this series, as the game went on, he just became more and more shy, more and more afraid. I'm sorry to say that. I like Tatum.
I do.
I like Tatum. I think he's a great star, somebody I would love to have on the Heat. And he is only 24 years old. He has a lot of room to grow. I love his kid Deuce. I love seeing him on the court, them on the court together. But you have Jaylen Brown, who is not as good of an athlete. Well, no, he's not athlete. He's just as good of an athlete. He's not as good of a natural scorer. His skill set isn't as refined and as beautiful, I guess you could say. When Tatum's moves, man, him and Kyrie have very similar moves. Kyrie's a little more quick with it, but he'll do everything on the court.
He can go by you, shoot over you.
When he's feeling himself, he's so fun to watch. He's so
everything is
artistic.
It's fluid.
Yeah,
it's like
it looks
poetry.
It looks natural because he's practiced this for his whole life. We've seen the workout videos. But then when things start going wrong, he's not even taking the shots. Like he finished with only 18 shots in a closeout game. When you're the best player, I want to see you above 25 shots. I've seen Kevin Durant take 45 shots before in the finals.
I've seen Kevin Durant play every minute, trying not to be.
You saw what Jimmy Butler was doing last round. Just talent alone, I don't think anybody would argue Jimmy Butler is one of the most talented players in the league. But he finds a way to get shots. He finds a way to make shots, and he got better in the playoffs than the regular season. Whereas Tatum, he really shrunk, and I don't understand.
He won't. The thing is, since you brought up Jimmy Butler, he won't shy away from having
quite the opposite.
You see when he did at the very last play that the Miami Heat had this season or this postseason. He didn't shy away. He knew that he had to take that shot because he's who he is on that team. Jayson Tatum, on the other hand, will disappear and have you looking towards somebody else. Like, yeah, I don't want to be the one to miss. Let somebody else do it.
On both ends of the court, too, because him and Marcus Smart were switching way too easily, putting a 36-year-old Al Horford on Steph Curry. Like, Draymond would come up and
defense, too.
He was, but he would play Curry. Defense. Oh, yes.
Steph Curry was playing the defense.
Yes, Steph was playing great, best defense of his life. But then he's the best point guard, in my opinion, in league history. And then you have him out here dropping 34 points. And at the end of the game, you have 36-year-old Al Horford trying his absolute best to stay in front of Steph Curry. And he was doing it for like 10 seconds.
Yeah, but after?
He can only stand too many dribble combos, and the next thing you know, Curry's out the rim.
Exactly. You can't, like I said, you can't leave the people who you have on this Warriors team open. You got to just let Curry get the easy two at that point.
Marcus Smart also had like a relatively bad game, but Marcus Smart has brought the dog energy that Tatum hasn't. He's been the one you've seen in the huddle trying to drive the team.
Yeah.
Jaylen Brown yesterday too. He was like, when the Warriors went on that 21-0 run in the first and second quarter, Jaylen Brown was the one looking at the guys like, did you think we were going to win the game in the first quarter? Like,
exactly.
We got a whole bunch to go.
It's a whole game left.
And Tatum,
they weren't acting like it.
Tatum didn't want to hear none of that.
That's what I'm saying. There had to have been something else in his ear.